Do you want to start?
Welcome.
Do
Yeah,
you want to start with the
sure.
introduction first?
Welcome to Before the AM. My name's Andres, and this is Manir. And we just wanted to have a conversation. Really,
Start
there's
here.
nothing much to it. It's two best friends that wanna get to know each other more, and I think I think it's a great way to know more about each other
Have a different
and just have
perspective.
fun, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, tell me where you're from, like where you grew up, your country of birth, everything. Tell me. Let's start right there. Let's start there.
Do you want me to start with the introduction?
Yeah, you go ahead.
All right. So my name is Munir. I was born in Brazil, São Paulo. Lived there for about 9 to 10 years almost. I moved to Canada around grade 4, and that's where I met Andreas in was it Mr. Nicky's class? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But
And
buddy, go
yeah,
ahead, go ahead.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I lived most of my childhood in Brazil, but to be honest, I think anything past like the age of like 6, I don't really fucking remember. I don't think
You
I
don't
have like
remember?
I
Yeah,
mean
I mean, same with me.
only key things you would remember at, like past the age of 6, you know? Like I burned my hand when I was like what's it called? I think it was 4 or 5. It was at New Year's or some stuff, and I there was like an iron, like the shit you used to like what's it called?
I
Unwrinkle your
think I've
clothes.
seen that little. I think you have like
A
a
mark.
scar on
Yeah,
your hand,
yeah,
no?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I think
Let's
it's
see.
like right here.
Okay, no, I remember because when we're together, I see it sometimes. But bro, like, tell me more. I wanna know more about like what you remember about your house, your childhood house.
So
Childhood house, childhood. I want to hear like your school, like
how was
what,
it?
like how was school? Like, did you learn English in school when you? All right, go ahead. Just tell me.
Yeah.
Tell me about your house. Tell me about your house.
So so when I was like not even like born, I mean I guess I was like I guess a month old or some shit like that back in 2002, I think is when we moved. So I don't remember the
Hmm.
very first house we lived in, but then we moved to an apartment, which is practically where we stayed until we moved to Canada. And I mean the thing with Brazil is it's really dangerous to live in houses because they can easily get broken into. So apartments are usually places where people try to live in. And
So yeah, so like that would be the most safe for you
yeah,
and your family would be to own an apartment
yeah. It's also the
because
most affordable because if you want to live in a house, you need to have like security and shit, and that shit's like
yeah, of course, yeah.
yeah. It's-
Well,
Yeah, so like I mean, living in an apartment is a lot different than living in a house, you know? Like you have a
yeah,
lot
for
less
sure, bro.
space, but you also have like access to cool things. Like you have like a pool and like, the apartment complex. There's like a gym there, you know?
Yeah, but you don't remember any of this stuff.
I barely used it,
You're
you know
two
what I
months
mean?
old.
I barely used it. Also, I don't think they clean the pool properly. Like, do you know I don't know what the fuck they're called in both Portuguese or English, but it's like those it's like I know it's a parasite and they usually like stay in the water, but it's like usually when the water isn't like clean. And I remember
Mm.
I got that shit when I was like 6 or 7 or whatever the fuck in my back, and this was before like cuz I guess it was kind of primitive, the technology back then, cuz Brazil's not as developed. So when they went to remove it from me, buddy, no anesthesia, was not put to sleep. All they did,
Whoa.
they grabbed a little, what's it called, like a utensil that had like a circle in it. They put the circle on like the ball where the parasite was, and they just kept like scraping it down.
Oh, it was maybe like what are those called? The leeches, like where they
They were
suck your
under.
blood and you can't rip them out.
Yes,
Well,
it was
they were
something like
in your
that. Yeah, it
skin.
was in my skin. Like it wasn't
Oh,
like on the
okay.
outside. It was in my skin. I think
Yeah, I
it's
have
called
no
like
idea what that
mollusc
is.
or some shit like that. I don't fucking know. But yeah.
Yeah, but so the second you were born, your family was already moving locations of where they're living.
Yeah, yeah, because I think both my parents like they got like a better job, so they got like a raise, so they try to move into an apartment. Because before then
Okay, but they lived in the house before that.
they did, but they also used to live with my grandma
Okay, okay.
because they were both kind of broke in a
And
sense.
then, sorry, from that apartment, you went straight from that apartment to Canada.
Yeah, I lived for that apartment for
So you lived
practically
there your
eight
whole life,
years.
your whole
Yeah,
life there
yeah,
in,
8
in
years.
Brazil.
But the
Okay,
thing as
and
well, it's like because both my parents used to work every day, I basically stayed at my grandma's house like 90% of the time. Like if there has to be like a ratio of like how much in which house I stayed longer, it's definitely my grandma's house. Because every time I
You're
came
both
back from
working, right?
school, yeah. Because she's the
Yeah.
one who used to take care of us, like me and my brother. So we basically lived there.
You know, same with me. Same with me and my grandpa. But like, we'll get to me later. I just want to keep. I just want to go. I want to know a little bit more about like your school. How was your school? Like, was it a public school? Was it private school? Or was it like? What do you remember from it?
I think it was a public Catholic school, or it might have been like a private Catholic school. I don't remember exactly like what it was. All I know is that the school wasn't shit, so it probably wasn't public because public
It
schools are
wasn't. It was good.
like it was decent. Like Mika's school. Like how has Mika ever told them about his school?
Yeah, he told me, but he told me that he went to a
Like a
private school
Yeah, but like
and it
his
was
school
really
is like a million
expensive.
times better than mine. Mine is nowhere near his. Mine would be like St. Andrews, kind of. It's
Okay,
the
okay.
same similar level. I guess the location's a little bit shitty, but
And for
it's
people that don't know, St. Andrews is a school
Can
in Ontario, just elementary school.
that we went to. So
Yeah,
s- what's it called?
but
So that's about the same. What's it called? You know what I mean.
okay, yeah.
It's about the same level as St. Andrews. I wouldn't say it was like a fancy school, but I also can't complain. It wasn't like the worst.
The one thing about what I remember a lot about when I was smaller is the food. Like,
Oh,
not every day did my mom send me or my dad send me food
oh,
to
you get
school
the
like I did
caf.
in Canada. The
Oh,
cafeteria, oh my god,
oh, bro,
that shit was amazing, bro.
it banged, it banged.
We had this thing called avena, which was kind of like a
Oh, buddy,
uh
but maybe you should explain
milk and rice. Yeah, sorry, I'll
explain
explain
where.
that later.
No, no,
But
but maybe
yeah,
you should explain where you're from. Like, maybe now give your little brief
oh
introduction.
yeah, sure. I was born in Venezuela. I lived in Caracas, and well, I was born in Caracas, but I lived in Los Teques, which is 20 minutes away from Caracas. Which people, like when somebody asks you and you like, no, at least for me, when people ask me where you're from, I say I'm from Toronto. Like, but we're not from Toronto. We're 20 minutes away from Toronto.
Yeah,
But if I say I'm from Milton, nobody knows what that is, right?
yeah, yeah.
So that's why I say I'm from Caracas. But yeah, anyways, so similar to you, I lived in Venezuela from when I was born till probably like 8 years, and
Because you came here in
there's
grade three, right? You came here
yeah, I
one year
came here in
before I
grade
did.
3. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. And you left when you're 9.
9. I think I was about to turn 9,
Okay,
something like
yeah,
that.
yeah. Venezuela, similar to you, it was very very dangerous at the time, and my family was pretty well off. My dad, he worked for PDVSA, which is an oil company
Hmm.
in Caracas, and at the time he was making a lot of money. So we lived basically on top of a mountain, on top of a not like a big mountain, but we lived on top of a mountain that was like encaged by high like wires and what's it called, like a fence, a
Like
huge
barbed wire.
fence.
I see. Yeah,
Yeah, basically a huge fence to keep out basically like the rest of the people out, because on the outside it was poor. It was like la favela, like in Brazil.
yeah.
Like I would look over on my house, like, and I would look down and I see all those houses that like are basically made of cardboard and brick. Like those ones that like are very small. So I lived on basically on top of that, and of course I'm grateful, but it's similar to you, like living in a house, like it was so dangerous. Even every individual house inside this location had their own fences with barbed wire on top. So to get into my house, you had to you had to open this huge garage that when like it literally opened up, and my house wasn't the biggest house either, but like just to get into the house, you have to another huge fence surrounded like your house just to have like that little. more security, right?
Yeah.
Even the windows, like they were like not like the windows that you find in Canada or in the US where like you smash it with your right hand and you can get in the house.
Yeah, to be like
Like
strong.
those windows, you had to throw bricks if you wanted to get in, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. It's just a different
Yeah,
culture, so they have to adapt to it.
of course. Yeah, and my school, similar to you, my dad was always working, so I never saw my dad. Like I barely saw my dad growing up. Like I only saw him on the weekends, and the weekends he would be sleeping in. Like like
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know
he'd
those.
be sleep like 13 hours in the bed, like sleeping, and that's when like we would have our time to bond a little bit. But yeah, like I was with my grandpa. My grandpa kind of was like my father figure growing up, and he basically took care of us. Like I slept with my grandpa for a long time. Like when I was like probably like from zero, like from when I was born all the way up to like 3, 4, 5 years old. Like I maybe saw him more as a father than my actual father, which is completely fine because he had to provide for us, and I understand that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and
I
like
mean,
I asked you, like, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say it's like for me it was very similar because like I was practically raised by my grandparents, but I mean basically my grandma because I don't have any grandparents or grandfathers because mine died when I was like 6 or something. I don't really
Your
remember.
grandfather on your father's side.
Yeah, yeah. My mother's side, it died when my mom was like 14, so I
Oh,
didn't really get to see him. But I was practically raised by my grandmother and my cousins because we
and your
lived
grand wait, your grandmother on your dad, like your dad's mom
my
raised you
mom's mom.
basically. Your mom's
My
mom.
mom's
Okay.
mom, yeah. And then she practically took care of me and my brother, and we also had our cousins who lived there as well, who lived with our grandmother, who were practically like, I guess my older brothers and older sisters. So that's how
Yeah,
very similar to you in a way, because I didn't
I
get
am.
to see my parents as well as when I was a kid.
Yeah, but yeah, similar to me as well because I met I met so my mom's mom died very early, so I have very little like knowledge of her in my head. Like maybe I remember her sitting in the chair, like in a
Yeah,
little sofa, and that's it. Like that's all I remember of her, and like because I remember like when she had died, like I was so young and so naive, I didn't know anything. So like
oh no, same.
they just kind of told you like, oh, like she just went to heaven, and like I never really like second guessed anything from that because like you're so young, you're so innocent, right?
Yeah, like I actually remember the day that my grandfather died. So it's like, well, we were in my grandma's house, and like everybody was there, my whole family, like even people that I wouldn't see very often. They were all there. They were crying, and I remember vividly that my brother was, he was tearing up because I guess he knew more of my grandfather than I did
Mm.
because we're a 6 year difference. So like he would have been 12 at that point, so he'd have enough experience with my grandfather, but. I remember that's like he asked me, he was like, "Oh, like why aren't you crying?" And I'm like, "Oh, I don't know, I don't what's happening. Like I don't know what's going on."
Yeah.
And then I remember, I think I felt so bad for not crying that I think I spat on my mouth and then I tried to like pour it under my eyes to fake crying so I wouldn't be the only one left out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you. I get you. Sometimes like you don't know like what affects you, bro. Especially because you're so young.
Yeah. But like it sticks
It's
with you
hard.
in a way, you know?
Oh,
Like
of course, yeah. Because I remember like just like you, like I have no, I have very little memory of my grandma. But the day that she died, I remember exactly what I was told.
yeah,
I,
yeah.
I remember exactly like that. Like my grandpa and my mom said that like she had passed in her sleep,
Yeah.
and of course it would like I don't know. I never really saw like any emotion from anyone else, which is bad. I think what you experience, seeing people cry, is good, and because like it's right, like it's normal, right? It's human nature to be able to mourn and see and like mourn the loss of your family member. For me, like I didn't I didn't get to see that. Like it was kind of like pushed off to the side, which has a lot to do with me, I think, because I do that a lot in life. Like I push a lot of things to the side and I let it like pile up, and sometimes it comes crashing down. You know, it's not good. Like a lot of problems, but let's move on. Let's move on to the to back to my school.
Yeah.
Yes, so similar to you, like actually for me, I think my school it was good. Like I remember we had a like at the time it seemed like the biggest pool ever in the world.
Oh
But now
yeah, yeah.
I looked back at it like a couple days ago, and it was a pretty small pool.
Bro,
You know?
you know that's kind of crazy because it's like I remember as a kid, like you used to see people, right? And they were like so much taller than you, and you don't notice when you grow. And I always keep thinking that those guys are still like giants. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
there's people
yeah.
that I've met that are like 4 feet tall when I was a kid, and I still to this day think that they're like 7 or 6 feet tall. You know what I mean?
And they're probably taller than you.
And I'm yeah, or so I'm probably taller than them or some shit. You know?
Yeah, yeah, something
How
like
dare you
that.
disrespect me like that, bro? What do you mean they're taller than me?
My bad, my
They think I'm
bad.
under 4 feet.
No,
What?
I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to say like that. Anyways, yeah, you know, it was. I don't know if in Venezuela, especially in our school, I don't even remember if it's Catholic or whatever religion like was practiced at that school. But I remember like everything was so patriarchal. Like you showed up, and the first thing you do, every grade one. So I went.
Oh
Sorry, I
yeah.
went to a school. I went to a school that had like elementary school, high school, and college a
Yeah,
little bit,
yeah.
like a little part of college.
Mhm.
So right before like anything started, that you showed up, I think it was like 7:50, and everyone, like
Line up.
all the people that attended the school were lined up to sing the national anthem,
Yeah, yeah.
and like you, so professional, bro. Like, you sit there and you just sing your heart out. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
Did you have to do that in Brazil as well?
We did. I think for us it was every Tuesday. We would go to the assembly and then we would sing the national anthem like in a row. But I don't
Yeah,
think it was
I
every
mean,
day, but like we did have to line up in the what's it called? I guess it was like a gymnasium area and then we would walk to our classes, but yeah,
yeah,
we every
ours was kind of
Tuesday.
like a gymnasium as well. Well, it was outdoor. It was like a futsal area.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
But
yeah. I think
yeah,
it was the same. Yeah, futsal. I think it was a futsal as well.
outside, like I guess there wasn't like in those third world countries. There's no big fields like that you see like here in the States or in Canada. You know, like where I was from in Venezuela, there wasn't any soccer fields. If you wanted to play, you had to play in the cages, or you had to play on like very shitty grass.
Mhm.
But let me tell you what really stuck with me for my school experience was at recess. You could go anywhere, bro.
Yeah.
There
It,
wasn't
it,
like a specific area, and we had like a forest that like
oh.
sometimes for like physical education we would all go there for walks and stuff like that, and like we would go like a couple of me and my friends like at recess we'd run like in the forest and like you know like meet up with girls and stuff like that, you know, like just
Mhm.
like fuck around, you know, stuff that you shouldn't do, but it was so fun, man. A little
We
bit dangerous too.
Yeah, yeah, we kind of had that, but like, what's it called? Our school was kind of closed, so like you couldn't really leave it, but you could go anywhere within the school, kind of thing.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah.
Do you do you remember any experiences at school where you experienced where you experienced something that you would never experience in Canada?
I never
For example,
experienced in
like
Canada.
let me tell you, like an example for me, I remember I wasn't the best kid. Like you know this, like when I was younger, I was a troublemaker,
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
and I would talk a lot of shit back to the teachers. And I remember one specific day, like I had said something. I don't remember what I said, but the teacher flipped out at me, like picked me up from the desk, grabbed my hand, bro, with a ruler, with a ruler that was on on my desk. Bro, I remember going home that day, red marks on my
Jeez,
wrist.
bro,
The worst thing that also happened. Sorry, go ahead.
was it
What'd you say?
wood rulers, or was it
Yeah,
like,
wood ruler,
oh, bro,
wood
those are the
ruler.
fucking worst.
No, so hurt
They
so
they
much,
they
bro.
fuck there, they hurt, they hurt.
And back then, bro, you tell your parents like I would tell my grandpa like, grandpa, like, look what the teacher did to me. Like, she like, let's take it like in Canada, you
You
do
lost
that,
it.
you probably
You wouldn't have lost it.
she's that
She's
person would
gone.
lose her job,
Oh yeah.
and you probably get a bunch of money
Oh
from
yeah.
her. In
100%.
Venezuela, grandpa, look what they did to me. Good, good.
They should have done 2 times worse.
You should, yeah.
Yeah,
When you
should
get
have won
home,
both hands.
I'm gonna beat you.
Yeah, yeah.
But it was always love, like discipline at home.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
let me tell you of experience I had. Like, I remember I love my grandpa, and I'm not here to expose him, but I'll say this. I remember I was fighting with my little sister, and maybe here and there, like it was a little bit too much. And bro, my grandpa, he beat both of us, and he made so he grabbed his belt in the legs, bro, like on the
Oh,
calf, bro,
oh.
so hard, bro. And the next day, he made sure that we were going to school with shorts on,
So you can see the marks.
so people can see the marks on your legs. And what's crazy to me is that it's normal. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
like
South America,
you're
that is normal.
it's normal, bro. And your classmates were like, "Damn, bro, like your grandpa beat you good," you know.
Yeah, yeah,
in
yeah.
North Am- in North America, you go to school with a few bruises on your arms and your legs, and they're like, "Oh, you need counseling, you need help, bro."
Yeah, yeah.
Bro,
Like sometimes it's just
I
discipline,
mean,
It's like there's obviously like there's levels to it, right? Like if you come out completely fucked up, then there's a problem. But if it's like one or two, like chineladas or the belt,
yeah, yeah,
it's
it's
normal,
fine.
bro.
I
It's
think,
normal.
to
Eh,
be honest, like
It's a good way to discipline in a sense.
I think so. Like sometimes, like when your child doesn't really react to something, or doesn't react well to, or like,
Like you tell
let's
them
say
off.
you're yeah, exactly, you
Yeah.
tell them off, and maybe he doesn't respond in a way that you want to, and you see that he's not learning. I think I would, maybe I won't say it on here, but I wouldn't mind using a little bit of discipline like that when I'm older,
I mean, there's nothing wrong with like it. Obviously, it has to be how bad you do it. Like
Obviously
one
at
or
a certain point, yeah.
yeah, like
And
one
of
wouldn't
course,
be
like,
hurt.
there has to be a certain age that you'd be willing to do it. Like,
Yeah,
like, it's actually a touchy subject, because like, when is it allowed
and
to
when is it?
discipline your children? Like, what ages? You know?
Yeah,
Because there has to be a sweet range of ages that you're allowed to discipline your child, like physically. And not
yeah.
I'm not saying like punch your child in the face. I'm saying
Nah,
like a little
a sandal.
slap here and there,
Get the
like,
sandal.
wake the fuck up. I think I don't know the ages, but
I mean,
I
I'd
would
say that
say
once you
probably
become
like
a teenager, it's too late. And I
the
think
yeah,
if you're a baby,
teenager,
it's
yeah,
too early. You're not gonna learn. It has to be
of
between
course.
like the age of like 5 to like 9 or something like that.
Yeah, I agree.
Because
I
those are
agree.
the times that they're gonna stick with you. You know what I mean? It's like you see that stuff and it can kind of stick with you. But obviously, you don't want to like traumatize your kid. You don't want them to fear getting beaten up, but you don't want them
Yeah,
to be
of
a little
course.
asshole.
But of course, like, your child has to know that you are willing to, or you have the power to not only love him with everything you have,
But the
but
discipline,
also discipline him
yeah, yeah,
and say, "Hey, look, I'm your father and I love you, but like, you have to keep the same respect that I keep to you."
yeah.
And we'll see. We'll be fathers soon enough, and we'll see.
See how it goes.
But yeah, I wanted to tell you about the that experience I had at school. So, like, again, like, I I don't remember what I did, but I had done something really bad. I think maybe this time it was pretty bad. I think maybe I talked back to a teacher, or something like that, or maybe I got into a fight with like my friend, and like,
They broke it up.
anyways, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter what happened. So I remember my my discipline, or what I had to do, not my discipline, what I had to do, like, for a punishment, was scrape every desk, the bottom of every desk, and take
Oh,
off
the
all the
gum.
all the gums
Oh,
from, bro, from the old school. I
no,
was
that's
there
fucked.
from, like, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Just You know,
Bro, that's rough.
I'd rather get the beating with the ruler right away.
Oh,
Like,
100%. Give it to me. Take it like a champ and
yeah,
just
give
go.
it to me. I go home, bro. I'll cry a little bit, but I'll go home laughing.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyways, what about you? Do you remember? I feel like you're a nice kid, bro. Maybe you don't get in trouble like me.
I have the opposite version of it. I don't think I remember I did like something really good. Like I think we were doing homework or some stuff, and she was like, "Oh, who did the homework?" And I think I was like the only one who properly did it and also knew how to like answer the question. It was like some basic fucking math. I mean, basic now, but for
Yeah.
then it was like adding and subtracting. And she told me to stand up to get in the front of the class, and she gave me a hug, and I think she kissed my forehead. And I think if a teacher does that to a student,
A bit embarrassing,
it
And
is a
everyone's
bit
like,
embarrassing.
fuck you, Manir."
Yeah, in a
But
way,
you,
yeah, yeah. They
what do they call it? The class pet?
Yeah, yeah, teacher's pet.
Yeah,
But buddy,
teacher's pet, teacher's
all I'm
pet.
gonna say, my favoritism and my and what's it called, being the teacher's pet, it completely went off the window the second I got to Canada.
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean,
it was you, buddy. You're the influence, you know.
no,
You
no,
shifted
no.
me that way. You shifted to be who I am, buddy.
The thing is, bro, like everyone talks about how they behave and how to behave better, but at the end of the day, everything comes natural, bro.
Yeah.
I didn't choose to be a troublemaker,
Mhm.
you know. But at the same time, there was a time in my life, which was high school, where something in my mind switched, and I had to go, damn, like all this fucking around,
But yeah,
like
I remember that.
I want to improve. I want to improve. And from like I remember the transition from middle school to high school was unreal. Like nobody recognized like no like I was so focused on like on what I should do,
Mhm.
I remember people, not that I got bad grades, but I just didn't try. He said in elementary school you never tried, and like I feel like that kind of
Like I hate you.
meant that hit me like even though I don't want to say that Peter deserves credit to some of my success at all.
Rancid.
That's just the time. Like I had already made that switch in my head, but he had pointed it out.
Mhm.
So like
He brought it to
it kind
fruition.
of he brought it. Yeah, basically, yeah.
But I
But
mean, buddy,
what
but
about you? What like you said like
oh,
no you
high
don't
school is a change. It was a big, big change for I think for everybody in a way. Cause like, for example, in elementary school, like my grades, if I had to get averages, bro, I think it would be rare to get anything above a 70 for me. I was getting
yeah.
60s or 50s, and like I don't know why. I guess I just didn't really care, but like, it came a
Well, because
point.
there was no repercussion.
Yeah, exactly. You can't fail, right? So like, it wasn't like anything to worry
I mean, you
about.
could, but you would still pass.
Yeah, you'd go on to the next, what's called, the
And
next
maybe
year.
on your report card you saw the F, or you saw an satisfactory
Yeah,
the
yeah.
S,
Or needs
which I
improvement.
got so much of
Oh, buddy, I
satisfactory.
did you get any ends?
Yeah, of course,
Yeah,
bro.
always.
But bro, like all you really had to do was show your mom or your parents the report card, and they're like, "Damn, like, what's wrong with you? You need to improve." And you're like, "Yeah, yeah, I will, I will."
It,
But that was all. That was all the repercussions and that you had.
I
You
think
didn't have
my
anything else
wake
on
up
the line.
call. You know what my wake up call was?
What?
You remember in grade 8 they gave us like a recommendation for like our high school. They said like, "Oh, these are the classes that you should take." And like I
Yeah,
remember like Mika, like Andre, what like to call, like Gabe, everybody. They're all getting like, "Oh, like you should try academic." And then I think Mr. Televi, he gave it to me, and all of my stuff were like applied, 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 applied. I think, oh, the only thing that I had academic was like French. And I was like, nah, bro, like I'm not taking applied. I'm not dumb like that. And then after I
yeah,
realized that like I was like a level below everybody else, I was like, nah, that's not gonna happen. So like the second I got to high school, I put everything academic, and I started trying. I was like, oh well, this
of
is actually
course.
pretty easy.
I think we had similar like. I think yours was kind of more like that, like wide, like
Like eye opening.
on a sheet of paper, eye
Yeah.
opening. Like, damn, like I'm not a polite person. I'm academic. I'm smart. And then you're like, damn, it's time to start trying.
Hmm.
For me, it came from somebody, like a little comment that somebody had made. But yeah, but before we get into like high school and sorry, elementary school and high school, I wanted to talk to you about your transition to Canada. Like, how was it? Like, do you remember anything that stuck out with you? Like, how are your emotions? Like, how are you feeling?
So I was pretty upset when we were moving because like all my friends, everybody that I knew was like in Brazil, and when I moved, like I guess better for words, I practically don't know. I don't speak to anybody that I knew back then other than two people. Like
So
my
right now, you only speak with to two of your friends.
from back then. Yeah, one of them is my
Okay.
cousin, which is kind of hard to lose contact with since we're
Yeah. Yeah.
family. And the other one I remain in contact with because I think we both shared Skype before I left. And I still talk to him to this day. Like we're still pretty close. I think he came to my house like a couple weeks ago because he just transitioned to
Hmm.
Canada. He just moved here to start studying. So, but yeah,
Oh
like
wow.
yeah, but the thing for us, what kind of fucked us up because back then, like social media wasn't, it was big, but it wasn't as big as it is now. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
getting
of course.
contact with your friends back then were a lot more difficult than it is nowadays. So everybody that I knew back then, I practically just like lost all of my friends and all my contacts. And when I came to Canada, I was practically like alone again. And I had to like go meet new people.
Yeah.
And it was kind of hard in a way because I barely knew any English coming into Canada. So all the English that I learned were like the most basic stuff ever, like football, a balloon, a happy birthday. You know what I mean? It's like there was like the most like it wasn't enough to be able to hold a conversation or to understand what people are saying. But I have to give credit to Mr. Nicky for getting
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
dictionary or whatever what's called, like the one that
Sorry.
has like,
How was your very first date? Your very first date at St. Andrews?
buddy, it was kind of scary in a way. You know what I mean? Because it's like I don't know if you remember, but like when I joined, it was 1 week after the school started.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it was 1 week after the school started, and I think Jair was in your class before, and then they kicked him out to the other class. I heard something like
I
that.
think so. Yeah. I
Somebody
remember
told
something
me.
like that.
Yeah. So I took Jair's spot when I joined that class, and I remember sitting down. Everybody was looking at me. Everybody was looking at me. I did not know what to do or what to say because I don't know what they were saying. And then I think
Yeah. You
and
had no. You couldn't speak the language.
yeah, and I think I remember you saying something. I don't remember what it was, but I think you said something in Spanish, and I started laughing because I was like, "Oh, okay, well, looks like I'm not the only one who speaks a different language." I forgot what you said, but I remember you
Yeah.
said something along the lines. And
I also don't remember, but like who do you remember who you sat next to and like who kind of helped you like first
oh,
as like a friend?
No,
Noah. Noah.
no, he was he was the one who helped me like accommodate with like what's it called with what was happening. And there was also Andrew as well. It was Noah and Andrew.
Andrew.
Yeah. Yeah, they were like the two first people that I started to like communicate with, and they were showing me around and stuff. They're practically like the
You
first
know.
people that I met.
Yeah. Like I had a very similar like process like you, and like you said, like social media, like the second I left Venezuela, all my best friends were gone. Like there's no way to reach them. Like it was not only like maybe like 4 or 5 years later that like we followed each other and we got to talk back, and that was very refreshing. But like in my like people can imagine what going through like leaving a country and literally leaving all your friends and everything you've
Oh, your
made all the
family
way
as
up to your
well.
life and not even be able to communicate to them,
Yeah.
you know?
I took
And
a little bit of
like,
the short end though, cause like you know me, I don't have any social media, so like the contact's
yeah.
been lost, buddy. It's been lost.
Yeah, but anyway, so like similar to you, like I came I came to Canada and we went to St. Andrews. You came fourth grade, I came to third grade. And I remember my first day, bro. Like my teacher was Miss Mahalides, and I had walked in and I was so scared. Like I didn't know one word, maybe. hello. Like I that's the only word I knew. And I remember walking in and like everybody looking at you. I kid you not. I don't even know if you know this, but like I ran out of the classroom and I started crying.
Really?
Yeah, like I couldn't do it. Like it was hard, man. Like I remember feeling like I remember the feeling like being so alone without knowing anything, you know.
Mhm.
But anyways, like I was able to get in, and thankfully there was this guy like that was in the eighth grade, I think, that spoke Spanish and helped me out of it.
Oh,
But like
your reading buddy.
my the first, yeah, it was very like a reading buddy. Did you
Yeah.
have like a guy that spoke fluent Portuguese?
I think it was the only
No,
one. You know, there was somebody. It was a teacher. She was your grade six teacher. I forgot her name. What was her name?
I don't. I'm horrible memory, bro.
Your grade six teacher. You don't remember? It's like Miss. It was like
Miss
with an M.
Message,
No, no. Message was your grade seven teacher. I had
but
Chacho. There was Ribeiro, and then there was another one. That one you had.
Kowalski.
No, Kowalski was grade five. It was Lukasic and Kowalski. I forgot her name, but she was your teacher, and she knew a bit of Portuguese from Portugal, and she's the one who kind of like. She
Mm,
was the only person in the school that could speak before Mike and Andre came.
buddy, I'm horrible. I hope you know that my memory's
How do you
horrible.
not remember?
I don't know.
You had Mateo, you had what's it called, the taxi, you had Jair in that class. How do you not remember her?
Oh, Miss Myers.
Miss Myers. Yeah, that's what it is.
Oh, well, I'm only remembering because you said Mateo and Taxi, and all I could think about is like those bendy erasers, and we used to run around the class, bro, and just fucking hit each other as hard as you can. I remember Matthew had hit me so hard, I had like a mark on my neck, like I was getting abused, bro. And she came in, she goes, "What are you guys doing?" And
Yeah,
we
yeah,
we kind of just sit there like holding these weapons in our hands, and we're like, "We're sorry," you know.
yeah.
But anyways, yeah, my the first person that I was with was Joshua. Josh.
Or
No, no, I
like that's the
forgot his
name of the
last
guy,
name. His name was Josh.
the grade eight guy.
Josh.
Oh yeah, really? He was the first friend you made?
Yeah,
Oh,
Josh. He was my first friend. Like I remember, like he was very friendly. But my transition into making friends was soccer because I played and I was good at soccer. So I promise you, at recess, I did not talk to anyone. I just played, and eventually, like you started talking, and like making friends. But the only connection I really made was playing the sport. Like you know, that was my way to reach out to people,
mm,
and you can tell that it means a lot to me that I'm still playing with it. I'm still playing the sport every day and
wow.
training. But I guess like because I experienced that that soccer was a way for me to get myself out there in the world, then I said, damn, like I want to do this for the rest of my life because it had helped me so much in my life, like in my life, you know.
Mm.
But yeah,
Well, and then it was grade four that we met through ESL.
yeah, yeah. ESL, like
Through
like
ESL.
Miss, what's the name you said?
Oh, well, our grade four teacher,
No, no, the
the ESL
the
teacher.
ESL teacher.
Oh, I don't remember her name, but she was really
What do you
nice.
mean? You just said it,
No, I didn't.
Miss No,
I said Miss Chacho, but that's my grade six teacher.
I promise you, you said the name.
Mr. Nicky's our grade four teacher. Is that one?
No, no,
No, no. What do you mean?
Miss.
No, no. I didn't say her name.
I promise you did.
I don't remember her name. It was like I feel like it was something with an M. I feel
For
like
the
every
C,
teacher.
bro.
Was it with the C?
I think
Like
so.
Ciatro or whatever.
Anyways,
Yeah,
what?
we met each other through ESL. Well, I mean, we
Yeah,
met each other. We were in the same class, but we kind of became friends because we kept going to ESL together.
yeah. And do you remember anything from those little classes that we had?
I remember the room was like really small,
I
and
just remember like
I remember
you
being
would
able to
sit
skip
there
class. You know what I mean?
No, I don't remember that. But I'll tell you what
Yeah.
I remember.
Okay. Yeah.
All I remember was sitting in a desk with a teacher in front of me, and she showing me like an apple, and then turning it around, and the word said apple,
Yeah. In
and
Spanish.
she would say the word. No, no, no Spanish translations, bro.
Oh, really?
She would show me a picture of the item, turn it around, how you say it in English, how she would say it, and now she says, say it back, and I would say apple, and she we'd do 100 things. There's a cat. Shh, turn it around, cat, cat. That's how I learned.
We did have flashcards, but like I told you, like Mr. Nikki, she had gotten like a translation book, like a dictionary from Portuguese to English. So I'd always bring it with me, and she would use that as well. It was a
Mrs.
very
Sakota. Mrs.
Miss
Sakota.
Dakota. Yeah, 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 yeah. That was her name. Good
Why did
job,
it
good
just
job.
pop up to me now?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Miss Dakota, legendary.
Yeah, what
Goated
a
teacher, and
lovely.
then and then
I hope.
afterward
I
was
wish her the
Mr.
best, bro.
Was Mr. Edward, or was it N?
I don't know. All I remember is Mrs. Sakota, bro.
Did you not have him? You know what's crazy? I think his name
What?
was like Mr. N-word with an N. It was like Edward with like, but you would pronounce
N
it like,
word.
yeah, you pronounce it like
Oh,
N-word. Yeah, yeah. It
oh.
did not age well, but yeah, yeah, yeah.
I do not remember, but let me tell you, ESL has been a blessing, bro.
It was so blessed.
Because every time, I remember in exams, anytime like I would mess up something, or I would ask for extra time, I'm ESL, you know.
Yeah, and they'll
Even in
bless us.
college, bro. Even in college, I've tried to do that. Like, yeah, I took a English class here at my university in the states, and I was taking an English, writing an English essay, and then I think I had gotten like maybe like a 75, and I wanted a better grade, and I said, please, like, I hope you understand that like English is my second language, and
And
I
it's
knew that
true.
no,
It is your second language.
no, because your second language is a language that you can speak fluently. But now that in my head,
Do you
the
speak English
languages
better?
I speak, no, not only do I speak better in English, here's what I think. Here's what I think.
Hmm.
Whatever language you think in, or whatever language you dream in, is your primary language.
Bro, I never thought about what language I dream in.
Yeah.
Damn, what the fuck? That's
Think,
interesting. I
bro,
actually
let it
don't
sit
know.
in, bro. Because in my head, I live life speaking in my head in English. So that's my primary language. It has now become my primary language.
I do both. You don't do both?
No.
Like you don't do like a broken English with like some Spanish mixed into it? Because that's kind of how I think.
You know, right now I speak a lot of Spanish because I have a Spanish roommate. So I speak Spanish all day to him. But if that wasn't the case, then I probably wouldn't speak that much Spanish.
I mean,
You know?
it kind of something similar happened to me in elementary school. Because like once I accommodated to only speaking English, I kind of started losing like Portuguese. If it wasn't for Mika and Andre, like I probably would not be able to speak it properly. It
Yeah,
kind of saved me.
that's what happened to me. I mean, it's a bit different because like right now you live with both of your parents,
Yeah,
and like you speak Portuguese every day. You
yeah.
know, and like there was a point like when I was away from college, when I was in college, sorry, like I only spoke English. Rarely would I speak Spanish, and I reached a point where I'm like I'm losing my language because I
Yeah.
would struggle when I would come back from college and speak to my dad or my mom. I wouldn't say I would struggle, but
You'd
I would kind of
understand what they're
stutter.
saying, but yeah, you would not be able to like have a
I would
conversation.
I would struggle to find the word to
Yeah,
find
yeah.
a word to fit like what I was trying to say. And for me, that was the again the like where I switched. And I'm like, damn, like maybe I need to improve. You know, like I felt like I was a bit like dumb. I would say
Hmm.
not maybe I wouldn't say that's the right word, but I felt like I was getting weakened. You know, like
Yeah, because
with
you
that
weren't
language.
practicing it, so like you're not gonna be used to it, or as
Yeah, you
used to
know.
it.
Anyways, like Now let's talk about. So we talked a little bit about middle school, right? We talked a little bit about how we met, and now let's talk about like us. Like we knew how we met, and so let's talk about what we did after school. What like how it was like. I remember the weekends, bro. Like
Oh, those are
and
good.
like when I was in school, bro. There's nothing I would rather do than go to Munir's house and just spend the weekend there.
Oh, the
You
best. Those are
know,
best times, buddy.
what do
Absolute
you
best
remember?
times.
Like, what's the first memory of anything that we did like outside of school?
The first thing we did outside of school.
Anything that sticks out to you? That like, oh, I have a good one.
I there's like a lot of them, but I'm trying to think which one was the very first one. You know what I mean?
No, the very first one I won't remember.
I won't remember either,
Maybe
but it's like it could have been.
maybe
Yeah.
it was your dad buying me Minecraft.
Oh, it could have been.
I remember that was one of the earliest memories of
Yeah.
being at your house. Like, was like I remember because I had gotten to your house. Maybe it wasn't the first time me being there, or maybe it was like the third, fourth time. But I remember being there and your dad offering to buy me Minecraft, and I had told my parents, and they were like, "Don't let him buy it for you. Like, we'll buy it for you." Like, feeling bad, like
Yeah.
because like not only was I sleeping over at your house, but he was also buying me games and feeding me. So they're like, don't let him do that. We'll buy it when you get home. But anyways, he had bought it for me, and that game like so much, so much like it meant so much to me.
But that game was our
I
childhood,
think
man.
that was the start of a beautiful relationship, buddy.
100%. 100%. I think it was somewhere in 2011 that happened that you bought Minecraft because I remember I bought Minecraft in 2011.
Mm.
So I don't know if that was. It probably wasn't the very first time, was it? It could have been early 2011. It could have been like one of the first few times you were over, like you said,
Yeah,
because we met in 2010 because that was grade four. It was 2010, and I think it was either the earliest memories you came over to my house or we walked to your house because you used to be very close to the school.
yeah,
So
yeah,
then we would go to the park, play in the park, and then we'd walk back to your house, and we'd play the Dragon Ball Z or Halo.
yeah. I remember those ones,
The good days, the
bro.
good days.
Anything I would give, bro, to
Go
just set
back.
up like an Xbox or set up something in my basement, like when I come back to Canada, and we just play like a few rounds, bro. Like
So good.
chill, maybe have a few drinks, bro. A little different, make it a
Yeah,
little different.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Maturity.
but bro, I wanted to talk to you. Remember, let's talk about Beyblades in school.
Oh, buddy. Those
Buddy,
one are the
tell
best.
me about your Beyblade experience, bro.
But I think out of every fad or whatever you call those things that happens in our life, I think the one
Every
that
what?
like every like new thing, like you know how there's like a fidget spinner,
Okay,
like
yeah, yeah,
Pokemon cards, like all like these new gimmicks that we had. I think Beyblade was the one that I spend the most money on.
bro, one hundred
Yeah,
percent, bro.
fully, fully. You
I
remember
mean,
my
bro, like
collection,
we
right?
played Pokemon cards, we played Bakugan,
Bakugan, yeah.
and like I don't remember that much for that. Like I had Pokemon cards,
Yeah, same.
but
But like,
not like I had Beyblades.
bro, Beyblades, it just hit
I
different, you know?
invested my life, bro.
But even watching the anime, like that was also an investment for me.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd watch it I think to this day, I think I still remember everything from the first two seasons.
No, see, I'm
Buddy,
more of like a
I
in
remember.
person. I'm more of
You remember in the moment.
like a no, like don't get me wrong. I probably watched all those episodes as well, but I got more out of like being face to
Oh
face
yeah,
with you,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Buddy,
and seeing your reaction when I would beat you, bro.
buddy, you had the
Or
broken ass ones. You had like Phantom Orion or like
bro. So
Phoenix
listen.
or you know,
So in elementary school, if you had the best Beyblade,
you're the king.
bro, you're the king,
You're
bro.
the king. You're the one
There's
that people respect you.
nothing more that I wanted in middle school than being the best Beyblade player or the one that with the best Beyblade.
Yeah.
Because like I remember like who was the best? Like Luca, maybe.
Oh, because he also had the broken Beyblades.
Yeah,
Yeah, he had
he
really good ones.
or somebody had the eagle. Who had the?
The Eagle. Was it
Anyways,
Eagle?
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
There's a lot of
So
good players or competitors.
yeah. So I remember like me being the way I am. I'm like, bro, I need to find the best one. And I remember my dad. Like I was speaking to my dad. Like and I was doing a lot of research. Like the best Beyblade in the world. Like I had gone on this Chinese website, bro. It was you couldn't find this Beyblade anywhere in Canada
In
or in the
Canada,
US.
yeah.
I had I had gone on this website and I had my dad type in his credit card information, and I had bought some Beyblade that was like $120, bro.
Which one was it? Do you remember?
It was the one that had the spin on the bottom.
The Orion, right? Phantom Orion?
Phantom Orion, yeah,
Like the one
that
that
one.
lasted forever almost?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, Phantom
bro.
Orion.
Nobody could beat me, bro.
This is the
Nobody.
best one. I mean, do you want to know something that I found out afterwards though?
What?
We played only on one stage, and it was always the stamina
The
stage.
red one, right? The red one.
The red slash orange one, like the one that has no outs. Like I remember searching up like a couple like months ago about Beyblades because I was curious. Like the stages that they use are actually like open, you know? Like they're
Bro,
supposed
that's why it
to,
made sense.
yeah, because you're
It
supposed
kind
to
of
knock
makes
them
sense.
out.
If we had the stamina one, those attacking ones
They were
would always
trash.
lose.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
always did lose. I remember like
always.
I had like what's it called, the Pegasus, the Galaxy
Pegasus,
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 and
yeah.
like you would think that it's gonna be like an insanely good one because it's like the main character and everything. It was trash. And the stamina one, it always lost. It was dog shit. It couldn't do anything.
Bro, I remember going to your house after school, bro, and just bringing the 200 Beyblades that we all had
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
on the side, bro, and just bro for hours, bro.
For hours. I mean, we keep
And we would even get
customizing it.
bored. Yeah, we'd get bored of the stage, and we would just rip them anywhere, bro.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like the what's it called? The back of the of like that tray that I had. Do you
Like the
remember?
laundry,
Yeah, the
the
laundry.
laundry,
Yeah,
right? Yeah, it was so fun, man. What would give to go back, man?
yeah. Everything, bro.
Because
Everything
we
was
do
so
that. If
good.
we do that right now, we pull up. It's not the same.
It's not the same. Like there, I guess for the first couple of minutes it would be fun, but like afterwards it would just get boring.
Yeah, and I don't know
Gaming
how.
for
Like
hours.
it's it's like it's like you said, bro. Like, well, we haven't said this yet, but playing video games when you're younger, it's like you're living it.
Yeah.
You
There's like
know,
nothing in the back of your head that you have to worry about. You know, you're kind of like
nothing.
you're just free.
Like right now, when we play, like you and me or Mateo, and we play Brawlhalla, there's always something on the back of my head saying like, bro, I have to do homework. Like, I
I
have
have
to
to
do this. I
study,
have to do that.
have to go to work. Yeah.
And I guess that's everything, bro. In life right now, like I'm at a state where I can't enjoy the little things, and I want to. Like yesterday night, like we all went out like just because I was saying goodbye to the soccer team, and we all had gone out and we started drinking a little bit, and we were there for like a couple hours, and like all I could think about was, bro, I want to go home, bro.
But
And
it's different now.
but it's bad. Like I want to change that, you know?
I think what you also have to keep in mind though, it's like in a couple of years from now, I feel like us will go like, bro, like the times that we're having like at the moment were like good times. We should have enjoyed it more. You know what I mean? Because it's like when we were kids, like the thing that I wanted most was to grow up. And then you grow up and you're
Yeah.
like, I don't want to grow up. I want to be like a kid again. Like fuck high school. And then I got to university and I'm like, well fuck university. I want to go back to high school. And I can't at the moment I can't think in my mind that like I'll ever have fun in university, but something tells me that when I grow up and I leave, I might have had moments where I actually enjoyed being here. You know what I mean?
I see what you mean.
Yeah,
'Cause,
I feel like I'm gonna regret it.
you want what you don't have.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Just because we
You
don't
know,
have it
like
anymore, it's like
an example. If you're in a relationship, you want to be single. Well,
that. I can
no.
speak through
Listen, listen.
experience here.
Let me explain. Let me explain before Hannah gets mad at me. So, if when you're single, all you think about, I want to be in a relationship. I want to be in a relationship. I want a girlfriend. I want a girlfriend. I want a girlfriend. And then because there's specific problems to to being to being single, right? There's like you need attention. You need attention. You need attention. And me being in a 6 year relationship, I of course like it's normal to experience things like these. Like sometimes maybe you want a little bit more space to yourself. You know, you and like you kind of say like I wouldn't say you say that you want to be single, but like you're like what would I would give to just like be alone right now, you know?
Yeah,
So like you want what you don't have, like especially like you were saying, like I want to grow up, I want to go. You want to go to college so bad, like you're in high school, enjoy the time. Because in college, you're gonna say, bro, I want to get the fuck out of college. Because after college, I'm gonna be chilling.
yeah,
I'm gonna have my
exactly.
job. I don't have no stresses of school. But you will, and
Definitely.
maybe school is less stressful than your job,
Yeah.
and you wish you could go back to college. But honestly, I doubt that right now.
Right now, I also doubt it too. Like I always think to myself, like, there's no way that I'll look back at this and like think I want to go back to it
Yeah,
because
and
it's just so stressful. There's
people
too
don't
much.
know that you're an electrical engineer and I'm
Yeah.
a mechanical engineer, so we're fucked, bro.
It's just
And
straight
we'll get to
horrible.
that. Like, I just want to like stay on track here. What
Hmm.
we were talking about?
That's how we met.
How we met and the experiences we had, bro. I remember the sleepovers, bro.
The best times, bro. The best
So
times.
fun, man. So many little video games things that we did, bro.
Like the Kirby's Return to Dreamland, the Mario Sports Mix,
Yeah,
the Smash Bros. Brawl. So good.
and it's stuff that like it's hard because you can't relive, bro. But you remember everything, bro.
Oh yeah.
Everything.
But yeah,
Damn, man.
the jokes we used to have back then completely different from the ones we have now, you know? Our sense of humor has changed, everything's
Oh, for
changed,
sure.
you know?
So, like, what got you into video games? Because if you ask me what got me into video games, I say you.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh damn, okay. I guess I'm proud
So
for that.
so now I ask you what got you into video games?
I think I'd have to say my brother. I think he's definitely like the biggest reason why I'm into video games, but it was because like what's it called? When we got back home in like from our grandma's house, like
Hmm.
there was no computer. Like the family computer usually my cousins used for like schoolwork and stuff. And other than watching TV, which sometimes my grandma would do, like I'd have nothing to do, you know, other and I wasn't gonna do homework because like, you know,
Yeah.
sometimes I do it, but sometimes I just like not about that. So my brother had the consoles that he owned as a kid, and we would sometimes play it, and I was
And your
always
brother is how much older than you?
6 years.
He's 6 years older.
6 years
So
older.
right now he's 20, 26,
Yeah, should be something
27,
like that. Yeah, something like that.
27.
27. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
So basically, because I was already born and we already had, I guess, some consoles. Granted, all the consoles we had were like older versions. Like we didn't have like the new stuff. Like it took us a while to get the Wii and stuff like that. And I never had a GameCube, but we've had consoles like N64 and the Super Nintendo. And because there's nothing else to do at my house, I would watch my brother play games all the time. And then like at some point, I just came like, oh, like why can't I not play this? You know?
Yeah.
So like, let me give this a try. And then after playing it, it was just like never stopped.
Of course.
Addict, bro. I'm an addict. What can I say?
Even to this day.
Even to this day.
What games are you playing right now? Like recently?
Well, Brawlhalla with Leo, you know. Um, I guess I play Mario Kart. I've been playing Mario Kart 8.
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit of Mario Kart.
There isn't really anything new right now, right?
No, not really. Oh, I also kind of like, because everybody's in school now, you know, everybody's like busy.
Yeah.
And since I'm still waiting for the next term to go through the next term, I've been like, I guess just playing less games, you know. Been
Yeah,
more
of
on the
course.
watching side, like watching
Okay, I
shows.
see. Watching Netflix and stuff like that.
Yeah, Netflix or
We'll
anime.
get. I see, buddy.
Yeah,
I see.
you know I'm a fiend for that.
Well, I know. I would like to get into the transition to from middle school to high school eventually. But before that, I wanna. What do you like? What do you miss about middle school? Like, do you remember certain things that you're like, damn, like I wish like I could relive these moments in middle school. Like for example, like maybe I could help you with the specific those like uh end of the year fairs that we had, like those water balloons. You
Oh,
know what I'm talking about?
wait. When you say
Or
middle school, do
maybe
you mean
like in gym
elementary?
class. Yes, yeah, sorry,
Elementary.
elementary. And in
Okay.
gym class, maybe like kickball that we had, you know, like any like those stack cups. Like
Oh, bro.
what was your favorite?
The stack ups were really good. The stack ups were, even though we didn't get to use them for long because we broke it. I mean, Justin broke it. That wasn't us, but I think the stack up's really good. The Every time we went to the baseball diamond to play, like, I don't know, it was like, I guess either kickball or something. We walked there. Those moments were good.
Yeah,
I really liked going there. Um,
me
what's it
too,
called?
bro. Like the walking over there was a little, I think, more fun than playing the sport
Oh yeah,
itself.
yeah. But walking to church was also, I kind of liked it. You know what I mean?
Every Wednesday, bro. I memorized.
It's so nice. It was so nice. Just walking all the way there. The big lines
I
sometimes
was look.
pass by
It
my
was on
old
my
house.
calendar, bro.
Always on your
It was on
calendar.
my calendar, bro.
You're
Huh?
getting ready. You're getting ready on the calendar. Also, the pizza days.
No, because oh,
So good. I remember I volunteered to what's it called, to deliver the pizzas, put it on everybody's desks and everything, because I think when I did that they would give me like either an extra pizza or an extra cookie or an extra juice box.
hear me out, bro. Hear me out. To this day, I have not tasted a better pizza slice than those fucking
The ones they
pizza
had.
day pizzas, bro.
So good. It was
Unreal,
so
bro.
good. I don't know why. Like, I'm pretty sure if I were to taste those now, they would taste like trash, but like, bro, they tasted
Yeah, yeah,
so
for
good
sure,
back
for
then.
sure.
It tastes
It
so
has to
good.
be some child effect, bro.
Yeah, yeah,
Childhood
yeah.
effect.
Like some placebo shit, but it was so
Yeah,
good. I loved
I
it.
think, bro. It's just the fact that like maybe your head is so like you said, bro. Always worried and can never be in the moment. You know.
Yeah.
See, for me, I can only be in the moment playing sports right now because I don't think. I just act.
Yeah. Yeah. That's also kind of
Otherwise,
second
everything
nature to you.
else, I overthink.
Hmm.
And if I can train my mind to just act and stop thinking, bro, I think I'll be a very happy individual. You know?
That's definitely a goal to life.
Yeah. But we'll see, buddy.
Well,
Anyways, for the going back to the high school, the elementary school experiences, bro. I was gonna say something about yeah, like maybe Mr. Televi.
he was a very interesting individual, honestly. Very, very interesting individual. And
I know you had different you had a different kind of a thought of or maybe a different aspect of what he was to you, maybe to me as well. You know, like
yeah, yeah.
or a different idea of him. You know, like what did Mr. Televi represent to you?
The thing is, I think I have no idea when he started teaching, but I think after some point he stopped giving a shit. And once we became his students, he was just like there to do his job, and he was like so done with his like with being a teacher. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
he wouldn't teach properly. No offense to him, but like his classes were like if I need a way to go to sleep, his classes were literally the best way to go to sleep. Sometimes I swear when he was reading the book, because like he would read with like his pupils like facing downward, so you only see like this part of his eyes. I dead ass thought sometimes he was falling asleep while he was reading. You know what I mean? Some like there were times
yeah,
that he
yeah,
took long pauses, and I'm like, oh, he's gone. Like lights out. He's done. He's
yeah,
asleep.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
He does.
like you
He'd
wouldn't
do that.
think.
He'd be reading. He'd be like the disk cam that follows the displacement diagram shows. Like he would
Yeah.
stop for like three
For
seconds,
like I
bro.
saw it's like, oh, he's like lights up, bro. It's gone. Yeah,
For
yeah,
me, he was just such a funny individual, bro. Like the little things he did, you know, like how he
yeah. He was
at
funny.
like lunchtime you would walk into his classroom and he's like eating
Yeah, the
eating
chicken.
eating chicken wings, like
Yeah, yeah, making the noises. Yeah,
making
yeah.
noises, bro. his doctor, what was it? His Diet Coke. He
Diet
had
Coke.
4 Diet Cokes every
Oh,
time
I think more
in
than four. He,
school.
he would get rid of a whole pack in one day. It's
I
crazy.
remember it was Ella that had given him Diet Coke for like a goodbye going away present. Like
What do you
here, like
say?
you know how like people bring
Yeah,
students
gifts
bring
to teachers.
apples to teachers, like put an apple on their desk to like show respect.
Yeah, yeah.
And I guess 'cause that was like a old school ideology. Now it's Michael Rella, 1 can of Diet Coke. Thanks, Rella.
Thanks,
And
bro.
he loved it. Well, I assume people are gonna just get weirder and weirder, bro, as the years go by.
Yeah, for sure.
What do you think?
I mean, I think that we're coming to an era where I think school for kids are is not going to be the same anymore in a bad way. Because I think because of COVID, there's so much online stuff, and I think schools started to realize that they could do online, and they don't necessarily need to like have an actual, what's it called, a building or rent too much of the building. They say like, oh, we can save money doing this. I feel because of that, people are gonna have start having less connections with each other, and I don't think that's a good thing. Cause
Like, what do you mean? Do you think people are gonna be more introverted?
yeah, 100%. Because
For sure.
I think if you do stuff online, it's like when we went to our second term of university, which everything was online. At least for me, it was because I had a co-op in between, like when COVID was happening, so I didn't have any classes then. So when we got to the second term, which was fully online, it's like you can't really like chat with other people or build connections because you're in a room with 105 people. You can't like talk to somebody because like your what's it called? Your voices are all being connected to each other. So if I'm talking to a guy, that everybody in the call hears me. And the teacher hears me, and they're speaking, so you kind of can't make any connections or like build any relationships with them.
Of course, bro. You
Yeah,
don't see maybe in I don't know for you, but for me, my online classes during COVID, only one person would turn on
wait,
their
oh yeah,
webcam, and it was the teacher.
nobody would in our one.
And I know some people would be in bed because that was me included.
But I know some people would just
Sometimes,
join and then they would go back to bed. You know?
bro, it was bad. It was bad. I remember like having to. It's like let's say now, like if I miss a lecture in school right now, I would struggle so much
No, you're
to
done.
try to make that lecture back.
Yeah.
You know, you're screwed.
Hmm.
And I guess now, like people can just you can just do that online because everything's recorded. But what's bad about it is that you miss that face to face. You
Oh yeah.
know, maybe there's things that I would say to you right now that I wouldn't say to you face to face. You
Yeah.
know, and I mean not you because you're very close to me, but like a teacher, for example. You know, I can't. Maybe I can read your facial expressions right now on this call, but it's not. It doesn't tell the full story.
No, you
You
can't
know,
have the full body language. You know?
you can't have it. No, you can't. And it's more. You gotta same as in the classroom. Like when you let's say like you ask a question, you see the whole environment, everyone's reactions towards what you asked.
Hmm.
And for me, like I'll be in class, bro, and get me wrong, like I'm so tired in class sometimes. Like I've had long days and whatever. But I write it down on my notebook that every class I have to at least say two things. Two things.
Two things.
I have to either ask a question, I have to answer a question, and bro, like because like because you're
I respect
probably
that.
so vulnerable to making mistakes, then it wakes you up.
Yeah, yeah, I
There's
respect it.
times where there's times where I'm like, I don't know how the fuck to answer this question, but I'm gonna go ahead and just say yeah, and then I tell them you're wrong,
I
one
wish I
hundred
could do
percent you're
that.
wrong.
I guess I'm too
Yeah,
embarrassed to
bro,
do that.
I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed.
But you do it. But I respect that you still do it.
But I do because it's on my to do list, and just to check it off on my notebook at the end of the day, I'm happy. Just to
Just that check. Seeing
it's
that check.
another scratch thing that I got done today. You know, like make your bed in the morning, scratch it off.
Yeah,
Say these two things. Like it's another way to improve. I think
100%.
you know. And not only that, not only do I improve, but I also face embarrassment. And you go through that, and I guess the reason I wanted to do this with you so bad was to improve, bro.
Self
To be
improvement.
more affluent, the way we speak,
Yeah.
to to communicate ideas more flowingly. Like, of course, like there's been times in this conversation where I've struggled, and we've both looked at each other, and we don't say anything, but intuitively in our head, you're saying, "Damn, this part was a bit awkward." But the second we start, it's
You
happened
pick it back
twice
up. Oh yeah.
in this conversation. It's happened twice, which is very good because it's been an hour. But
Well then.
I think I think it's just little ways to improve, and I think also getting to know you a little bit better.
I mean, it definitely. What's it called? It helps us grow our connection. Cause like we've always been really close, and we still are pretty close. But
We've always been close, but bro, I never knew anything about
yeah,
your experiences in Brazil,
the same.
the
Like I didn't even know that
situation
Josh was
with
the
your
first
with your
friend you made.
grandparents.
Yeah,
Exactly, I didn't know that. I don't know. It's just things that little details that actually mean a lot.
yeah.
I think I think me knowing where you came from, how was school in Brazil, like makes me understand you a bit more. But yeah, let's call it off for today, and we'll for the next one we'll talk about our transition into high school, and from there our transition into college and our everyday lives.
All right.
You know,
Any closing pieces that you want to say? Anything?
that's all you, buddy. That's all you.
Oh, it's all me. You're putting me on the spot here. Okay.
One advice, one moment,
One
one.
thing that both we can do to improve for next week. You know,
Yeah.
that's something small that we can do within a week. So,
Okay. Something that I challenge you to do.
all right, think of something. I'll
Let's
try to
see.
think of something
I'll
too.
challenge. I'm gonna try. Okay. Okay. I challenge you to wake up. No, no. Next. Okay. So this week, for 2 of the 7 days of this week, you're gonna get up in the morning and you're gonna go for a walk outside. 10 minutes.
All right. All
And
right.
write it down.
I'll even
I
record it.
don't care.
I'll record
I
it.
don't care where it be, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever time you find to get up, and you get up in the morning, you have a small breakfast, you drink water, you go out for a little walk. Without you can bring your phone if you want, but just enjoy, bro. Enjoy outside
Okay.
and be in the present.
So every day till next week.
Not every day.
How many
Twice,
times?
like
Twice.
twice in the next week.
Okay.
Because I think every day is asking a little bit too much.
More or less, but we'll try. It's consistency. I want to do that because I want to be consistent like you. I know you're very consistent, so I'm gonna do that.
No, just I'm asking you to do it twice because it's hard to dive in and start doing so much.
Yeah. Hmm.
So what about you, buddy?
For me, I'm gonna do. I want you to again, maybe not every day, but I guess it's not. It doesn't take that long. So I want you to search up a random word and add it to your vocabulary. Because I know that when you're thinking of something, you usually
Hmm.
get stuck in your head and you don't know like how to continue.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know.
No, I
Would you
agree.
would
I
you would
agree
you
one hundred
say?
percent. It happened 6, 7 times in this conversation that we had.
Mm-hmm.
There was a word that I was trying to find and I couldn't find the right one.
Yeah.
So I think I think that helped me a lot. I'll do it every day, bro.
It's just
And
I don't
then
know.
the next week,
Search up a random word.
next week when we talk, I'll give you the list of every new word and the explanation.
Lovely.
And next week when we start, you tell me how you felt mentally, how refreshed maybe that walk was.
All right.
And maybe it seems like a little bit like maybe it seems so easy, but I promise you it's not. It's like you going out for a walk for the main purpose to just clear your head. Nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Well, definitely do
It's been
that.
a pleasure, buddy. It's been a
It has
pleasure.
been a pleasure. Good luck with your work, because I know you have to go soon.
Thank you. Yeah, I work at 7 in 45 minutes.
Oh, well, you should probably. I don't want to hold you then.
All
Well,
right, buddy.
it's been a good session, buddy. It's a good first time doing this, you know.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. You know, we have to do this more often, and I think we will.
Yeah,
It will
I
only
liked it.
improve from here.
Absolutely, I loved it. It
All
was a
right,
good
buddy.
session. All right, buddy. I'm gonna call it then.
Yeah,
All right.
call it.